Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Multiverse Machine. This episode, I've actually done a lot since last episode. And to be honest, I did actually record between last episode and this one, but that was just me talking about the changes I made, which there's a couple new ones, but I'll go over them again quickly here. And then me flying around the ends looking for stuff. Spoiler alert, there's not much in the end. There's no mods to really affect it much except for Draconic Evolution. There's a couple things around I didn't find in city, so much of the episode was either just me talking or flying around and not talking. So I decided not to post that one. But in this episode, we're going to go ahead and get started in immersive engineering. Some of the changes, but let's quickly go over what we've done here with the network. I finished hooking up all of the P2P tunnels. Of course, they are not all populated yet, but they are available. I moved our crafting CPUs over here, and I greatly expanded them, as you can see. So we have 5 of them, and the plan is that this one in the middle will grow. This will be the one that actually handles our final craft. It's going to need a lot of processing power. And then these other ones are supporting. They've got plenty of processing power completely on their own. I've expanded our processor production here, and this is just a parallel expansion. So all it does is these interfaces all have copies of the patterns, and they don't push items into the chest if there are already items here. So what that does is when you make a batch, it'll evenly split what's available across these chests. So all 3 columns will start producing the same thing. One weakness is that you can't, if you're trying to craft all 3 different processors at once, it won't evenly automatically split between types. So it'll do all the gold and then all the service and then all the diamonds before moving on to the next one. I might change that in the future, but for now, this is 3 times faster, and so I'm good with it. I moved our storage subnetwork over here. Basically the same thing as we had when it was, up here. This is on a subnetwork. These are our drives. And it's connected to a series of drawers if we need them. My experience so far has been that we've not needed them except for the Wither Skeleton Skull. And I found out I cannot automatically take items out of here to put into there without explicitly filtering which items to do so with. So unfortunately, the drive system is not going to be quite as powerful as I was hoping that it would be. And then, of course, over here, this little structure, this uses all 32 channels. And what this does is it allows me to say I want to keep this many of each item in stock. Each of these interfaces is equipped with a crafting cart. So if it doesn't have the items available in the actual inventory, it will automatically request that this is crafting. So we've got all of our ME components. We've got some cables. We've got our processors. I like to backstuff the base materials so that way our craft can initiate nicely without having to wait on a whole series of small crafts. It just helps crafting things like this stuff a little faster, and then it goes back and restocks on these. I do have it stocking 9 crafting storages. I have all 16 colors of dense and regular smart cables, so those are available for me. I have a whole lot of stone bricks and a whole lot of glass. A few watches of flowing time and a few dark matter pedestals. And the reason these aren't actually showing up right now, I figured out, was because the system can't actually craft a new dark matter pedestal right now. We don't have enough EMC. We're only at about 200,000. That's because I've been doing a lot of crafting. But yeah, so these are not able to be crafted, but as soon as we have enough EMC, the system will recognize that it is able to make a craft like this because it's able to set aside all the materials needed including all the dark matter or all the red matter, things like that. So it is set up like this instead of just kind of being laid out on the ground. Because I was having channel issues, it was really weird, but I found that the setup seems to work pretty well. I think I have something in a top. Do I? Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. These. Um, yeah. So I've done some testing, and there don't seem to be any more channel issues or recognition issues. It's just needs the EMC to make that craft. Let's see. I also added a dark matter pedestal with a watch right here, just to speed up this red matter furnace. It seems like when you try to put a lot of stuff into it at once, this overflow filter here, which should automatically feed into this, doesn't. It gets stuck, and then I have to manually clear it. And then this watch of flowing time takes this up to absolutely ridiculous speed, so hopefully that cuts down on the amount of getting stuck. Let's see here. I've also added a whole bunch of watches over here, but having them all on at once, while it does significantly speed up EMC production, it also significantly slows down frame rate. And then at the end of last episode, we made a Dark Power Flower Mark II, because we had enough EMC to do it, but and we wanted to make the upgrade, so we have technically made another step forward in our progression. But lastly, I went ahead and got started with the coke ovens and the steel production. What did I do with the steel? I did something very specific with the steel, which is why I have that set up. I'll remember in a second, but just to kind of clarify what I did here is these coke ovens are automatable. I've just got coal exporting into here, and then I've got the fluid import buses pulling out the creosote oil into this storage drive. And it looks like our network is disconnected here, so let's just get that going again. I've learned to carry around a full energy storage cell just whenever a portal disconnects. It'll allow the thing to start. This will get power in a second. But yeah, there we go. So this fluid cell contains the creosote oil, and that is available to view in our fluid panel here. If I got rid of that. Yeah, there we go. Creosote oil. 1,400 buckets. And then I just remembered I expanded our power generation significantly, and I upgraded these to reinforced casing, each of which each reinforced casing requires 4 steel ingots. So I ended up making however many in, what do I have? 4 stacks of steel blocks, and I used all of that steel in making those 2 reactors. Oh, and then just a little tidbit, I got tired of there being mobs right up front here, so I vein mined a good amount of our nether fortress here. But I'd like to make some progress in immersive engineering. That is part of our progression. Let's go ahead and find which one that is. Nope. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so immersive engineering and a little bit of create. We need to automate, some wire coils and the reinforced blast brick, treated wood planks, buckets of biodiesel. That's going to be, let's see. Yeah, so we've got some refineries to go through. So a lot of stuff in immersive engineering just to, oh, what was that? Yeah, biodiesel, all 3 wire coils, fluorescent tubes, reinforced blast brick. Fluorescent tubes is graphite electrodes. So all kinds of things. I wanted to give a kind of a broad spectrum on mod completion. So we're going to go ahead and get started. let me plan out the first few steps and maybe get some crafting going, and I'll be right back. Okay, we've got a number of things here that I want to automate. Some of these can be automated right away, and some of them will require some setup. I want to take care of, of course, the created wood, the wire coils, all the conveyor belts, wire relays, stuff we'll need to, to expand. So let's go ahead and get going on that. I've got some steel cooking up in the meantime because we will need it. In fact, this might actually be enough to do that. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's burning through fuel quickly, so I may need to do coal blocks instead of just coal. But, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get started on our pattern. So first things first, I want to know if treated wood can simply be made using the fluid. I don't actually know if this will work or if we have to make a literal bucket, but it's worth finding out. So let's find out. Literal bucket is required. All right. So how can we make a literal bucket of creosote? Because if we go to the here, and if we actually just click on here, we can pick up and deposit. So I wonder if I can make a pattern for a bucket of creosote. Well, I guess not. Let's find out what fluid terminal, fluid information, interface. No? Let me do a little bit of research. I need to find out how to turn this raw stored creosote oil into buckets of creosote oil. All right, we're going to go ahead and go the create route. We're going to use spout to fill our bucket. So first, we need to get all this create stuff auto-crafted. We only need one spout and maybe a few tanks. I'm not going to auto-craft those, but some of the intermediate stuff in the pipe we'll go ahead and do. While we're here, let's just go ahead and get some patterns for the cogwheels. And then also for these things. Oh, you know what? These are all you know what? I had left this on processing mode. Let's go ahead and try one more time with the treated wood planks. Let's see. All right, so this is crafting pattern, item substitutions on. Let's put this back in and test, because then we might not have to do any of this create stuff. For now, we will have to later. But the treated wood. Next. Nope. Still can't do it. Okay. So we'll keep that in there because we'll need it. But let's go ahead with the, first of all, with this dried kelp. Not this. Dried kelp, smelting, there we go. And we'll put that directly into our, there. And the mechanical belt is easy because we can just go back to crafting. All right. So all of this stuff can just be thrown in wherever. Start filling stuff up. You may notice that I've got things in a particular crafting line are spaced vertically. And what this means is that it's actually in different interfaces, and that allows the coprocessing unit to craft in parallel. So if there are a whole bunch of these 1Ks available, these can craft while waiting, or instead of having to wait for all of these to finish. So as soon as there's enough for the next thing, it can go, even while this is happening. Otherwise, if these were all in a line here, horizontally, then it would have to craft all the 1Ks, then all the 4Ks, then all the 16Ks, then all the 64Ks. It helps just speed things up with the crafting process. But I can fill in these spaces with other stuff that aren't super related, or it's not a high priority to have speed for. So we've got our belt, which we will definitely need. Let's make some copper nuggets, and we'll put them in there. Let's make a okay, so we need copper plates. That's actually another thing that we should do right now. Let's do this, and we're going to make sure item substitutions is on, so the NBT data doesn't actually affect it. But let's try this and just make sure. And let's go ahead and make a pattern for that too. Now let's see what happens if we try to auto-craft plates. So if we craft one, okay, we've got a hammer in there. If we put our hammer in there, available one, okay. If we try to craft 11 of them, okay. Okay, if we try to craft 200 of them, all right. Okay, so it looks like it does calculate the durability. At least I'm hoping that's what that means. So if I just do that, okay, 81. So yeah, not that. Let's go back to plate, and let's sweep off the night here. So there's 81 durability left on our hammer. Okay. We do just one more. Yep. See, now it's going to craft a new one after it uses the old one. That's very interesting, and I like that a lot. So that opens up the whole world of plates to us, which means that we can get started on some of this other immersive stuff before getting a press. So that's very encouraging. I like that. But for now, let's go ahead and get our fluid tank. So we'll definitely need to do the encoded pattern for these. And let's get, while we're here, tank. no. Okay, so tank. Get one of those. And put that in here. So if we did we do the copper nugget? I'm not sure if we did. Nope, we did not. So we'll just go ahead and do that real quick. All right, there we go. So 12 tanks. This is very exciting stuff, I know. But it is part of the process. It is necessary, and I'd like to capture at least some of it on camera. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a fluid pipe pattern. So we're going to need a whole bunch of these. Eventually, we'll need a whole bunch, but for right now, we just need a few. Look at that. And we'll just get one. Oh, well, we just needed a thingy. But we can actually just take one of these. Oh, we did make a spout instead of just a spout. All right, so spout, tanks, belt. We're gonna need a bunch of these. All right, and then we'll need a bunch of shafts, bunch of cogwheels, possibly a gear shift. Is this the one that switches direction? Relay, yeah, it switches direction. All right, we can do that. All right, so let's go ahead and go into create land and grab ourselves some dark oak plank. Where's our... Well, here's our shaft. So we may actually be able to just... come over here. Why am I still messing around with this? We have a better axe. Yeah, much better. Alright, so let's put a large cogwheel here. A small cogwheel. A large cogwheel. And a small... come on. Small cogwheel. Ramp up the speed a little. One more. Can we put here? No, we can't put there. We'll put here. And then a small cogwheel there. There we go. So that's going to be our hum. Actually, this will be our main drive shaft. So actually, you know what? Let's try this. We now have belt. So alright, so there's a belt. Whoop. No, for speeding up, we're better off using the cogwheel. So, big to little, big to little, big to little. Alright, and then belt, belt, goes on belt. Alright. There. Okay, so here is our main drive shaft. And we're gonna need, oh yeah, we need some funnels. I did not get the... There we go. Alright, so we need some funnels. We're going to have a, we're gonna have an interface. Two interfaces. We're gonna have one right there. This is going to be the input. And then we're going to have one right here, or output from the network and input to the network. So now we need two funnels. And then we need to put our spout there. And we'll need to put our can we bring a shaft this way? Yes, we can. Very nice. I like that. Or you know, we may not even need to do that. We can probably put the pump there. So we put a pump here and get our wrench to rotate it. Okay. Temporarily, let's do that, and then get our pump there. There we go. Woo! Lag. Alright, so our fluid goes that way. Yeah. Okay, so we've got our little glass thing there. I really like that feature. Let's put our tanks. Ooh, okay, so here's an interesting feature. Ooh, okay, here's what we're gonna do. This is going to let's see. Okay, good. We can stack them. So let's make a stack of buckets. Okay, a few stacks of buckets. So what we're going to do here is we're going to keep 4 stacks of buckets in this interface. And this should, in theory, yep, it'll pause. We do the next one, so it pauses. How do we? Yep. Very nice. Alright, so this will keep some buckets in here and queued up and ready. So all we actually need to do is output the fluids we want. I guess they don't connect like that. Into here using a fluid interface. Yeah. So when we autocraft, well, I say that, I don't see a place for a pattern. Huh. Okay, so we'll do something a little different then. This machine will solely be for creosote oil. So let's come over here. And the reason I'm doing this is because there's no pattern for auto-crafting with the fluid. This isn't Extra Cells 2, this is Applied Energistics. And it looks like we don't have fluid auto-crafting capability. So we're going to store creosote in here. Which might actually be interfaceable to this. Looks like it is. So we don't need the tanks because we can directly pump out of this interface into here. We're going to fill this up with creosote oil, and then when we need to craft, we'll just send the bucket into here manually, and that will give us a bucket of creosote oil. And that will go back into here, and that will allow us to auto-craft our created wood. So let me get the little network set up, and then I'll be right back. All right, I've got everything hooked up and taken care of. So we've just got our little recipe here, and let's pop back over into the dimension. Again, all I did was just connect up these 2 things. Confirmed this does work. It pulls the creosote into the spout. And we'll put our pattern in here. And let's try crafting a bucket of creosote. Make sure that it does it right. Oh, I didn't hook up this one, so. Huh. Are we crafting? Let's check the crafting real quick. Available 1, scheduled 1. We send a bucket to this place, we get a bucket of creosote oil back. We're sending. Are we sending? Is it connected? Very confused. I guess let's just try again. Cancel this. That's our pattern. Do we need to... Let's try it. We're gonna put this here. We're gonna put a chest on top. This could very well be it. It might be trying to say, I don't know what inventory to put it into. There it is. Yep, that's exactly what it was. And then there's our bucket of creosote oil back into the system. Let's sleep through the night. Once again. Alright, and our bucket of creosote oil. So if we wanted to say treated wood, 200, missing 25 buckets of creosote oil, how do you know how to make a bucket? No, you don't know how to make a bucket. So, do you know how to make a bucket of creosote oil? Do that, okay, 8. Alright, so we have Alright, so we have no buckets of creosote. We do have 66 buckets. Let's try just a stack of treated. So, missing 8 buckets of creosote. Can we do 1? No. No. Missing 1. Why? Thermal creosote bucket. Oh, wait a second. Aha. That's what it is. In fact, actually, we could probably get away with finding our treated wood. See, what it did was it's from a different mod. It's the thermal version, not the immersive. We're gonna take that out, and we're gonna We're going to put that in. Left. And this one gets recycled. Yeah, there we go. So now, if we wanted to say, I'm going to see this over here. Where's our... It would help if we put the pattern back into the system here. Yep. $200. Crap, 25. Okay. So it's taking a while to fill up. So I'm wondering if there's probably a better way to do this. Maybe use a tank as a buffer, but for now this is fast enough. It's pumping the liquid out, it's pumping it into the buckets, we're getting our treated wood. That is automated. And considering that treated wood technically is part of our progression, this does further us along in our... Why are you low on power if I'm in the same dimension and you have a full buffer? This frustrates me. But yeah, okay, so alright, so that's a little bit of progression, just a tiny bit. We've gotten a machine set up. Not quite as far into immersive engineering as I'd like, but we did make some progress. We'll do more next time. Next time I want to get the power set up for immersive engineering. And especially now that we have this, we should be able to get through the rest of this relatively easily. We'll be able to do an alloy kiln for the alloys. All kinds of fun stuff. So we'll focus more on immersive engineering next time. A little less on crafting, a little less on catching up. But I'll catch you then.